You are listening to Lovely Talks Heavy. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Lovely Talks Heavy. I am your host, Lovely, and I discuss everything I enjoy with regard to heavy music. Let us build a playlist, one perfect for a session of Dungeons and Dragons. Why? Well, first off, okay, let's be real. Metalheads, scientifically speaking, are a bunch of nerds. You know, you could just go to any metalhead, just find one on the street, ask them if they're a nerd for something, even if it's just heavy metal. But realistically, okay, a lot of metalheads just love comics and Dungeons and Dragons and TV shows. Metalheads know how to really get into stuff. They know how to be passionate, myself included. So that's why, I must point out I love D&D. For one, it's a perfect medium through which to tell an amazing, unique story, and each story that is told is completely different from player to player and from group to group. My group is running a campaign at the moment, and once we're finished with that one, I'll be taking over as the dungeon master, and I've been spending my free time building a campaign, and I'm so excited at the prospect. And real talk, building campaigns is a lot of work, but a lot of fun. There's limitless possibilities, and there's what's not to enjoy about that. With that said, let's get into building a playlist. Now, if you want to have a playlist customized for your particular Dungeons and Dragons group for your sessions, it's important to build a playlist that is attuned to your specific campaign and players' capabilities. Keep in mind the setting. If it's the typical high fantasy that Gary Gygax had in mind for D&D, you probably don't want to include any, like, space rock, for instance. D&D is an immersive experience that requires concentration, and you don't want anything that will distract from that. Which brings me to my next point. If your players are people that tend to get easily distracted, maybe refrain from including too many songs that have lyrics in them. See, I would be one of those people that would get easily distracted, even though I do want to make sure I get as immersed as possible into the storytelling of it all. That's what we're all there for. But this is why I can only listen to classical music when I'm writing or reading, or just anything that doesn't have lyrics in it. Mostly classical music, though. I get down to some Mozart while reading. Anyhow, but try to aim instead for songs that create an ambience that makes it easy to fall into the setting of the campaign. If you have many different settings within a campaign, you could use several playlists for several moods and settings. Keep in mind, if you really want to make a full D&D experience for your players, that if you want to make a playlist, that you should shape that to your campaign, and not your campaign to your playlist. Being a metalhead, I understand completely wanting to maybe put in a particular song for whatever epic moment that you have planned to happen, or maybe because you just really want to make your players listen to a particular song, because that's another defining trait of metalheads, let's be real. We really want to make our friends or people we know listen to our favorite kind of music. It's just a matter of fact, it just happens, But this playlist should be background for your campaign and not the other way around. If there was a song you really want to include in your playlist, but it doesn't quite fit for whatever reason, just save it for later. Sometimes it is better to save ourselves the indulgences. I'm gonna give some song suggestions for different kinds of settings and campaigns. If you want to make your own metal, heavy music sort of D&D playlist, you can have a good jumping off point with these suggestions. So let's get started. The first song I'm going to suggest for your D&D heavy music playlist experience is Dragonflex by Srosslords. I already talked about this song in episode 1 when I discussed the band Srosslords and giving recommendations for what should get you started on this great, cool, amazing band, I should say. But if you haven't listened to that, I will just simply say the song would be good for a battle sequence you have going, or perhaps a scene in an inn engaging in an arm wrestling contest against a burly human fighter type dude. It'll allow for long-winded, long-lasting fights to gain some momentum and energy as well. I said momentum weirdly. Momentum. There we go, I fixed it. The next song I'll recommend for your D&D heavy music playlist experience. That's what I'm just going to call this now. That'll be the title of the episode. The D&D heavy music playlist experience. Yeah, maybe not, but I'll shop that later. Anyways, I'm Your God Now by Catholic Spit. Any song, I think, from the A Pact with the Devil LP from which the song is from would be good for your playlist experience. But for the sake of just choosing one song, I'm picking this one. It's perfect for creating an atmospheric feeling. While it has lyrics, they aren't too distracting from the storytelling aspect of your group session. So it's perfect for that reason. I don't need to talk too much about this next song for your D&D playlist experience. It's Planet Caravan by Black Sabbath. If you're a metal fan, you'll know this one. It's perfect again for atmospheric music, dialogue dialogue sequences, I should say, or just something to have in the background while you're on this, while you're thinking about something in a fight or just trying to figure out something, a hidden puzzle your DM might have laid in. Who knows? Anyway, Planet Caravan by Black Sabbath. I shouldn't have to talk too much about this one. Perhaps your party are about to encounter an ogre in a swamp, and you want to create some suspense. Well, the perfect song for that would have to be Bloodmarsh by Fintroll. It's one of those songs that kind of leads into another song on, I forget which album it's on at the moment, but it's perfect for that reason. Bloodmarsh by Fintroll. Castle Kelly by Winterhymn is the next song I'm going to recommend for your D&D heavy music playlist experience. I've used this song for background music for YouTube videos before, and it would fit perfectly into your D&D playlist and also your music library, if we're just talking about recommending music. Winterhymn, it's a good band. Go listen to them. They also have a good song called Blood Eagle. Go listen to that as well. Anyways. Here's a good-ass song, perfect for a spacey sci-fi setting in a campaign. It's Prophecy of the Laser Witch by Brendan Small. I would be biased towards his creations and including them into your D&D experience. That thing I said about metalheads wanting to show their favorite stuff to other people, that's me doing this right now with Prophecy of the Laser Witch by Brendan Small. It's one of my most favorites by Brendan Small if we're counting only his solo work. Considering it's about seeing into the future, it would be good for, a prophecy telling sort of sequence, maybe your characters are at like a festival or whatever, there's a fortune telling tent, just pop that song on, and yeah. Prophecy of the Laser Witch by Brendan Small. Okay, this one's not going to be quite on the far end of the heavy spectrum, if we're being real with ourselves. But I included it because I think it would be good, just chill ass in music while your characters are somewhere, in an inn, chilling out, getting some HP back from the brews you might be drinking. It's Love is the Truth, the acoustic mix by Jack White. Here's one with a perfect driving melody that I absolutely love. It's Pursuit of Vikings by Monomarth. I mean, I think it would be a sin to be a metalhead, be in a D&D group, have a playlist specifically for your D&D sessions, and not include any Amon Amarth in that playlist. I mean, it's already a sin. I mean, getting a bit tangential here. It's already a sin that, the Marvel Cinematic Universe doesn't include any Amon Amarth in their fucking Thor soundtracks. I mean. Anyways, this Pursuit of Vikings has a perfect driving melody, and if you want to forego lyrics on this song, there's actually instrumental versions floating on YouTube that would fit perfectly into a D&D playlist. Here's the next one for you. Rest in peace, Chris Cornell. This one is Black Rain by Soundgarden. The music video for this one was directed by Brendan Small, which is part of why I like the song so much. Let's be real. While this, and admittedly a bunch of the other songs I'm recommending here and now have lyrics, lots of vocal usage, they aren't filled with too many hooks that distract, which is key to including lyricized songs into your D&D playlist. Now, if you had something ultra catchy, then that would be something that would cause issue. For instance, you don't want to include Iron Man by Black Sabbath, but Planet Caravan's just fine. You want to include music that maybe would be perfect for driving if you're easily distracted. I don't know. I'm just recommending you songs to help you build your D&D playlist. Anyways, now I'm just going to fire off some more songs without getting too deep into why they would be good, but I think they would be good anyway. So here we go. Gehenna by Slipknot. Water Wings by Distracta Membra. Thanks for Nothing by Danton Eprom. Honking Antelope by Serge Tonkian. Sacramental Sister by Powerwolf. McFly by Pinkly Smooth. She's Gone Away by Nine Inch Nails. Everything, open parenthesis, the universe, closed parentheses, by Jim James featuring Lydia Burrell. When Love and Death Embrace by Him. And finally, Beautiful Tragedy by In This Moment. So there you have it. Just a good handful of recommendations from me to you for your D&D playlist experience. If you don't want to use any of these, or frankly don't want the added work, if you are the DM, I should say, if the added work of creating a playlist, don't bother. D&D is all about having fun and telling stories, so don't give yourself that added work if you don't want to. But if you had fun listening to this, let me know. And feel free to follow me on all my social media on Twitter, Tumblr, YouTube, Mixcloud, and Instagram. I'm Simply Lovely Metalhead, so drop me a line there, tell me what you think, give me feedback, give me suggestions for any future episodes that you may have, if you have any, or if you just want to say hey, that's fine too. I like to say hi to people. So, yeah, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Lovely Talks Heavy. If you haven't already, please check out all the rest of the episodes of Lovely Talks Heavy. I mean, this is only episode 5. It will only take you about a couple of hours to get through them. But, anyways, until the next episode of Lovely Talks Heavy, next week on Saturday, you stay brutal, my friends. Bye.